New at 5, Chico's largest homeless camp is about to be partially cleared out. I went out to Depot Park today. That's south of Chico State near the downtown area, and I spoke with some of the people getting ready to move along. This behind me here, this is Depot Park. It's the last remaining large homeless camp in the city of Chico, and as of this Thursday, the north end of it, so that's about half, is going to be completely cleared out by city crews. So the city had actually intended to clear this out a little bit sooner. They counted 21 people who were camping here. They counted 24 abandoned tents. And they also found that 7 of the 21 people who were camping here had already been assessed for shelter. I spoke to one woman who says her campsite will be cleared, but she's not clear about where to go. Where do you hope you could go next?
To a place where there's restrooms that are cleaned out, like at least 3 times a week, and that there's water.
Hari is not alone in feeling confused. There was even some confusion during the most recent count about how many of the people identified as female. But the city tells me they straightened that out and assured the plaintiffs who sued over camp clearouts they'll make sure the shelter bed count always considers gender-appropriate bed space. The city has to consider tents in the head count as well. You can see here there's a certain number of camps that they initially believed to be abandoned, and they can't just assume a tent's abandoned, of course, because you never know, somebody just might not be there. So they came back 5 separate occasions to make sure that those tents actually were abandoned. They talked to other people who were here and asked how long the tent had been vacant for. And so after 5 different times, they could officially declare that that tent had nobody living in it. Hari says she thinks city crews are doing their best.
I think Chico is pretty good with the homeless or the houseless. I'll call them houseless.
Yeah.
Kind of just houseless. Have a home. It's Chico.
Now, the other side of Depot Park, the south end, that's a whole different story. It's going to require another round of 7-day notices, 72-hour notices before that's cleared out. And as for the people living here who maybe they've been offered shelter before, like those 7 who were offered shelter and had refused it, I spoke with the public works director about that, and he said, they just don't give up, because a lot of times the first, second, third time they talk to somebody, they might not be ready to move into a shelter space. However, people change their minds, and so it can be pretty encouraging when people, maybe third time's the charm, and then they are pretty excited to move into a shelter space. Hari says she'd be happy to go to the pallet shelter, but she and others tell me it's tough to get into unless you have a partner, and Hari's partner isn't at Depot Park. How did you end up here? Is your husband here?
No. I live at home and I live here.
Yeah, okay. And he's still around? No? Okay.
Yeah, I'm in love with him. We're working on a relationship. Goes through zones. We're in a bad zone right now.
Yeah.
But it'll get better.
Well, millions of dollars have gone into the settlement, the pallet shelter, the camp clearouts. So does the city really consider this a success, Haley?
Well, yes and no, Alan. It has cost really a lot of money to make all of this happen, but the public works director tells me that not the homeless camps, when you drive around Chico, you can see it. They're not taking over the city anymore, and there is some encouragement out of the Jesus Center, which runs Genesis, that's the pallet shelter. The director there tells me that even just last week, they had 3 people move from those pallet shelters into permanent housing. So we're seeing progress.
Something's happening, yeah.
Just slow, yeah.
Well, today